was a house built out of stone, wooden floors, walls, and windows.
It was a school day, and I was in my classroom with my classes, just like on any other day, and we kind of got word of what had happened. And at that time, every room had a television, and the television was linked to certain news stations that could be used for educational purposes. And so, most rooms got on their televisions and they were watching the happenings. And then we were directed to turn the televisions off. The administration was afraid this was going to create some kind of turmoil, and so we turned the televisions off and tried to go on as a normal day.
I was living in Warsaw, Indiana. I was teaching third grade for Leesburg Elementary School when 9/11 happened. I actually was at my desk. We didn't start school until like 9:05 or 9:10, and a couple of my students ran into the classrooms and, Mr. T, there was an attack, and I didn't believe them at first. It was third grade, and I thought they were confused. And I'll just never forget. I even remember the name of the student who brought me the news initially. I can still see his face and still see the kind of look of shock on his face as he came flying in.
I actually was a freshman at LaPorte High School. We were having a freshman assembly, and they just let us out, and I heard a lot of people talking about buildings being on fire in New York. And we went back to class, and I was in Mr. Thomas's World Geography class, and he turned on a TV, and we were just watching. We didn't talk, we didn't know what was going on, and we just watched it all kind of play out. And we started watching as the second plane hit, and I just remember thinking that something was wrong. So it was terrifying.
It affected our family deeply because we had a very close family friend go missing from the Pentagon.
The kind of innocent world I lived in was drastically changed. I guess for me personally, I just remember my dad coming down to my room that night, and he's like, "I just want to warn you, Erin, that everything is going to change now." And I think it kind of freaked me out. I didn't understand why it was happening, and I was 14, and it blew my mind.
Well, I think there was just so much confusion and so much grief that it automatically made us all feel scared. I remember feeling like I need to contact my family to make sure they're okay. And at the time I didn't have anybody out near any of the terrorist attack sites, but still my mind wandered to the safety of the people I knew, because the images, the video, the TV, people who were covering the events, it just captured it all, and so it made it seem so real. And I immediately thought of all the families who were affected. So it incited some fear in me, of course, a lot of sadness and grief, and just uncertainty. It just really showed how fragile life is, how short life is, and how we all got up that morning and just took everything for granted.
The country was also devastated, but then we kind of came together and became stronger and more patriotic, I believe.
I was really scared, but everybody came together, and that was one thing I really remember from 9/11. When you turned on the TV, there were groups of people. It didn't matter what race, what gender, ethnicity. It was just everyone was together, rallying around each other, helping each other out. And so the patriotism of our country was at an all-time high. So while it obviously killed a lot of people and it was a forced disaster in our country, it really brought us together.